Well, in the next few years, actually, the market is going to be tighter in terms of a supply, and rents are going to go up. How far is it going to go? It's anybody's guess, but for sure, it would probably rise by another 10 to 15% by the end of the year. Landlords in the market, they are now gearing up with an increase in activity. There's a lot of inquiries from major corporations looking at expanding their operations in Singapore, and this has led to landlords to feel confident and bullish, and they're just increasing their rents bit by bit to see whether if the tenant has the appetite. And I think the market is returning in favor of the landlord, unfortunately for the tenants. The government has always been very active for companies to expand their businesses, and they are continuing. They have a good roadmap, 20 to 30 years, in terms of where the CBD is going to grow, where land reclamation is going to happen. I think supply will always be produced and given out into the market in a very methodical and strategic approach. The government in Singapore is very hands-on. Whilst they do not want to flood the market with office supply, but at the same time, the government needs to position Singapore as a key financial hub and to attract the best talents. And the government, I must say, it's very mindful. They do not want costs to escalate out of control, and that's why they are very hands-on. They are watching the market. And on top of that, our Economic Development Board of Singapore is very proactive. So they have a crack team within each industry, and they'll reach out to they're very focused. They'll reach out to the financial industries, oil and gas industries, pharmaceutical companies, and they will work towards, with these companies, to sort of expand their presence in Singapore by providing a whole host of I would say incentives, for example, tax brackets. And I think that's been good for the Singapore workforce, because that means creating jobs. And it's been very positive in the last few years, and the government has been very, very proactive in that approach. Well, I think for every business, it's important to create a niche. And we have, thankfully, carved out a niche in Singapore where our business solely is to act for tenants. We don't act for landlords because we feel that there is a conflict of interest. In the past, we used to act for the tenants and the landlords. But over the years, there are too many tenants asking us the same question. If you're acting for the landlord and you're also acting for me, then whose interest do you actually look after? If you have that question asked once too many times, then you start to wonder, well, yeah, he's right. So we've decided to forego a lucrative business actually in the landlord rep market to go out and pitch for business, to act for tenants on an exclusive basis. And that has worked pretty well in the last couple of years, because the tenants are beginning to appreciate the value that we can add to the real estate negotiations. And when they see that, a true value, then that's where it sort of increases in momentum, and we started to get more and more appointments. And the last, I would say, 18 months, we have acted for some of the largest companies in the world. We've done the 4 largest leasing transactions in CBD, and I think that momentum will continue. And this also goes in line with what the government is trying to do. The government is basically telling real estate practitioners to be true to who their customers are. Now, if you're acting for the tenant, then you have that fiduciary duty to do what's best for your client. Now, if you act for the landlord, then you have to do the other way around. So we find that we can't have a China wall within the firm, and have another department acting for the landlord and my department acting for the tenants, because that is questionable. So we have decided to lose that and concentrate on our key point of difference, which is really to act in the interest of the tenants.